So today we are going to learn about the quaver rest. As in grade 1, we have learned about the semi-brave rest, minim rest and crochet rest. In grade 2, they are introducing us the quaver rest. Okay. So there are few things which need to know about the quaver rest. First thing, like if you see that there's a dotted crochet note, so make sure you complete this first, then you move on. Here you can read these examples. If there's a quaver rest there, then you complete with the quaver note first, then you move on further. Okay, here you can see in 4x4 there's a imaginary line over there. You should not cross that line. See here, if you cross this imaginary line between 1 2 and 3 4, that will be wrong. So make sure you remember all these things. Okay, so these things I will not get too much into this, so you can read on this own. I know you guys can do it on your own. Let's move on to the exercises. So there you can face the problems when we do it as practical. So before I do it, make sure you try it on your own first, and then you can see this video anytime. Okay, so let's start with the first exercise. So in this one, you can see it's written fill in the colored boxes with correctly grouped rest to complete the bars. So we have to complete the bar, and we have to see which rest we have to put over there. Okay, so let's see this one first. So you can see this 2x4, and you can see this is note value is 1.5, right? So we need to make it 2, we need half more, so that means we need a quaver rest over there. Okay, same here, you can see this 2x4, so we have given half here. So first we'll complete this by making this half, so this completes half. Now we need one more, so we put one crochet rest. Okay, now you can see 3x4, you can see we have 1.5 over here. So first we'll complete with the half. Okay, and then we are going to complete with crochet rest. Okay, same here, you can see 3x4, so now we have given half, so let's complete this half first. Yes, and now we're going to make one this and one this one. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 4x4, so we need 4 crochet beads. They have given us half, so first we complete this with the half, that makes 1. Then we need 1 crochet bead, that makes 2. Half, let's complete this, so this is half, let's complete this with the half, and then 1 crochet bead, so that makes 4. So these two makes 1 1, these two makes 1, and then 1. Okay, again 4x4, half is given, so let's complete this half first, then we'll complete this rest. And now here, remember this imaginary line, this is 1 and 2, so now here we can put a minim rest. Okay, so you can see next is 3x4. Now 3x4 you are given here, so let's complete this with 1 crochet rest, half, so we complete this, so we got 1 2 and 3. 2x4, half is given, so let's complete with the half first, that makes 1. Half again given here, let's make this also with half, and here we complete. Okay, so now let's move on to the next page. So in this page, friends, we have to write 4-bar rhythm using the note and rest value. Included at least 3 rest in every rhythm. So we have to make rhythm of 4 bars in which we need to put at least 3 rest. So let's start. First, let's make these bar lines, so it will be easier for us. Now let's start making the rhythm. So we can see this is given 2x4, so we can start with a crochet beat, and then we can do we started with a crochet rest, and then we make a crochet beat. Second, we can move on to 1 quaver rest, then we should finish this with the quaver beat, and then we can do with a crochet beat. Now let's move on to the next one. Here we can make a crochet beat first, and now we can make a quaver rest and 1 quaver beat. Here we can finish with the minim. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is 4x4, so let's start with a semi-brave rest. Okay, next we can go to a minim beat. Yep, from there we make one crochet rest and one crochet beat. Okay, now next we can go a crochet beat, one more crochet beat, one more crochet beat. Now we can give a quiver rest and then one quiver note. Okay, and last we can finish with a semi-brave note. Okay, now next is 3x4. So let's start this one with a dotted crochet only. Do this as quiver rest and then crochet note. Okay, now next one we have is 3x4. Let's move on to the next one. Here we can make a minim beat and then we can give a crochet rest. Okay, next we can give a, let's give a semi-brave rest and then we can finish with a dotted minim. Now if you think this is the timing signature of 3x4, then why we have put it this, right? So always remember that any empty bar should have the semi-brave rest only, they cannot have minim rest. Okay, now let's move on to the 2x4. Simple, let's start with a crochet beat, then we can have one crochet rest, then we can start with a dotted crochet beat and finish with a quiver rest. Then we can have one minim here, minim beat, and then we can have last a crochet rest and then one crochet beat. So here we finish this exercise. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Now in this next one they are asking the following music contains mistake in the grouping of note and rest, write it out correctly. So we have to check where is the mistake. So you can see this example they have given, they have corrected the mistakes what has been given over here. So same thing we have to do it here. So let's start. Let's make our quiver this treble clef first. So let's make this first. Now this C, that means we have a common time signature, so we have to remember it should be a 4x4. Okay, now this crochet beat they have given, so let's make this crochet beat first. Let's make these bars first, so it will be easier for us. Now you can see that in 4x4 instead of this we don't need this, instead of this we can do one crochet rest, that's not required, and instead of these crochet 2 beats we can have one minim rest. Okay, and we finish this with the crochet beat. Okay, instead of these 2 minims we can have one semi-brave rest. Let's make this one first, the crochet beat. Now you can see they have given this minim in between the first and the fourth note, and remember this imaginary line which we is not supposed to cross, so this is wrong here. Instead of this we should write one crochet rest first and then we can put a minim rest. Okay, remember that. Instead of this we can have one whole semi-brave rest. Yeah, now let's move on to the last one. Let's make the clef first, the bass clef, time signature 2x4. Let's make the bars. Okay, so let's start. You can see all these notes they have given it separately, we can all beam them together. So let's beam them together. There is no requirement of writing them separately, they can be beamed together. So we can have this and this. Yeah, and this one you can see we can give one crochet beat here and instead of giving these two different semi-quiver quiver rest, we can put one crochet rest. Okay, again same thing, let's correct them, put them together, beam them together. And the last one, same thing again, just make a crochet bead here and make one crochet rest. Yeah, so friends, here we finished our this topic, the quiver rest. I hope you liked the video, and if you have liked the video, then please share it and subscribe it. Now I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, thank you.